Yo, what is up everybody? I'm super excited to bring back Subaru Saturdays. I know that it's been 2 weeks since I had any updates on the 2.5RS. I was out of town with my wife and kids for vacation, and when I got home, it was the 4th of July and my birthday. I wasn't able to get anything filmed for the 2.5RS worth posting, but we're finally here again, having some time to work on the car, and I'm really excited about it. In today's video, we're gonna be pulling some body panels off of the car and really getting a better idea of how bad the rust is underneath some of the things you just can't see until you remove some of the panels. We still have a lot of things we need to pull off the car before we can start really adjusting the rust, but that's where we're headed, and I'm super excited about it. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right into today's video. So one of the first things I'm gonna be doing is removing this front fender. I really wanna get under there and see how bad the rust is underneath this panel. It really doesn't look bad from the top of the strut tower and what you can see from when you pulled the wheel and the suspension, but I really just wanna get a better idea. So what we have to do is there's a 10mm here, here. This one's broken from a previous engine removal, I remember. There's two right here that need to be removed, and there's a couple hidden ones around the panel, and I'm gonna show you guys really quickly. When we get down below the vehicle, we have this one right here that needs to be removed. Also, to get this fender off, I believe we need to remove this ground effects trim piece. I've never had this piece off. It seems pretty loose. It seems like we could just pull it down just like that. I believe there is two behind this door. We'll go ahead, pop it open, and yep, you can see one is right here and the other one is right here. In all of the work that I have done previously on this car and in the ownership of the vehicle, I have never had these front fenders off, and I'm really curious what it's gonna look like under there. A lot of the times, the rust can be a little deceiving, and you guys have seen already how bad the rust is. So let's go ahead and get this panel popped off and see what that rust looks like. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if this first one will break for us. Oh, it was already very loose. I have no penetrant on that whatsoever, and it came right out. Let's see if this one breaks. Oh yeah, these are all butter, very loose. I know that I broke them free that last time, and I really kept everything as penetrated as I could. Anything that I took apart previously, I remember I always was spraying PB Blaster and just trying to keep it as lubricated as I could. That's two, we'll leave that right there. Let's see number 3. Very nice. There is a fourth one right here, but it's broken, so we're not gonna worry about it right now. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these last two bolts that were left up here. Oh, this one has a little rubber mounting for the hood probably to sit on. And that top side is pretty loose already. Let's move down to the side of the car and get these lower ones pulled. Now, I don't think I've ever removed this one, so we're gonna see how this goes. See if I can get some penetrant behind it. No, it's kinda, oh, I could get underneath it and get some penetrant. Let's go ahead and spray that real quick. Like I always tell you guys, the classic JB80, let's get it up in there and see what we can do. Couldn't really tell where I sprayed it, but I'm sure it's on there. Oh yeah, we're good. This one's coming easy peasy. Well, a little tighter than I thought. Let's go ahead and spray some on there and run it back in. Here we go, here we go. Nice. Go ahead, it'll probably come right out this time. Yeah, there goes my battery on my Milwaukee wrench. I don't know what's wrong with this Milwaukee wrench, but my battery chooses not to stay in for me. Very good. Go ahead. Nice, we got 1 and 2 right here we'll get. While I'm working, guys, I really hope everybody really enjoyed their 4th of July. We had a really nice time and we had a nice fireworks show. It's a really fun holiday. I hope everybody stayed safe and enjoyed their Independence Day. You can see that one had 0 penetrant on it. I've also never had that one removed, and it came right out. A lot of this car, even though it's beyond rusty in most places, it still really wants to be taken apart. It's shocking to me how I'll be working on my 2017 and struggling to remove nuts and bolts, but on this 98 that is half rusted like it lived under the sea, comes apart so easy and well. This car was really nicely made, and I really am starting to enjoy working on this Subaru the more and more I get to do. This one seems a little tighter, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some penetrant on it. I'd hate to break a bolt, being hasty. Let's see if we can get this now. Oh yeah, that is fresh paint cracking. That's what you heard there. Still a little tight for my Milwaukee, but as I go ahead and ratchet this out, I'm sure I'll be able to run the gun here. Maybe not, I don't know. I will say this, the Milwaukee's not really for breaking things free. It's more just to get you in that right angle and be able to zip things in and out when you can't really turn the wrench. That's in my opinion. It is definitely a great tool and it saves me a ton of time. I suggest you guys getting one if you do work like this, but like I said, it's not for breaking things free, and anything that's tight, it's really not going to be able to do. Okay, so now we have this one that's a little hidden here. You can see it when you open the door, and you can get it from the inside, but if you're able to, you can get it right here also. I don't know if this one's going to go. Nice. I think that's going to go for us. And you know, this is back to what I was saying. Even though the car is insanely rusty in all places nearby, a lot of these are still coming out for me. And when you work on new cars, like I was saying, my wife's 2017 Nissan Rogue, we took to Florida. Some of those still wouldn't come out, and that's a brand new car with only 100,000 miles. So this car really appreciates being worked on and wants to be taken apart. That's awesome. And now we have this one up here, but I don't want to beat up my door, so I think I might grab a combination wrench or a box with a ratchet attachment and get that from the inside. If I'm careful here, with an extension, it looks like I'm able to get this one. Nice. Ooh, it was a shorty and it came right out. Very good. I'm actually not sure what's holding the rest of this in. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can just lightly pull this back. Don't want to damage it at all. Seems like there's one down here, just barely hanging on with some rust. Let's go ahead and pull this wheel well, this plastic liner, and see after we pull this what else I need to remove. There is a hidden 10mm up here that holds the plastic liner in. We'll go ahead and see if we can break this one free. Before I pull that completely out, I want to see if I can get this plastic grommet here that holds it in. Yeah, that one really wasn't doing much. I'll have to replace that later. I'm sure it's even, oh, you know what, the hole for it is in pretty good shape, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get that 10mm out from up top. This thing will come right down after I pull this. Perfect. The wheel well is out. The little plastic liner's out. And honestly, it looks pretty clean under there. I'm pretty impressed. There is some electrical wires that are hidden back here, which that's nice. After we get this panel out, we'll be able to see that too, because we're gonna pull all the electrical out also. Okay, so right here you can see, this is the 10 that's remaining, holding the front fender on. Ooh, it's in pretty bad shape. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the 10 off, and I really don't want to destroy this fender. It is pretty rusted. I kind of want to keep it together. So I'm gonna attempt to get the 10 off really quick and see if it'll spin for me, because it's hanging on by this little thread right here. I'd like to keep it together so when I make a new piece for this fender, or if I just replace the fender, I don't know if I can find a clean fender anywhere. But this one's in pretty good shape, so I'd hate to have to replace it. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if I can get this thing off, and then we'll have the fender free. We do have to disconnect this light that's up here. It's pretty easy. Let me get the light up there. Nice, that was not bad. Try and just bend this down so I don't even know how this thing is holding on at all. I think I'm taking a piece of the pinch weld with it. Let's just see if I can bust that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my whiz wheel and just cut this little piece of rust, which is on the body of the car, not the panel. Here we go. That's all it took. Let's go ahead, back the camera up and get this fender coming off. Okay. Now that I have this little blinker out, it should come right. Oh, okay, we got a little, this for the front blinker, and voila, perfect. It's actually in really solid shape, this fender. Let me go ahead and show you guys what this thing looks like. And like I said, even though the car is extremely rusty, I swear, it just wants to come apart. I have a solid dent up here, which kind of sucks. I did that in the shop years ago. I think I dropped a toolbox on it. This is the most of the damage, but I think I could easily make this little rusted bout piece if I cut this back deep enough where there's no rust. I'll weld a little piece in there, but you can see the actual arch itself is in really solid shape. And yeah, the thing is still mega clean from when WD did their magic to this car. It's shocking how clean these panels came and how clean the car was and how bad it is now just sitting in my barn again and in the condition that I've torn it down. But we're gonna go ahead and continue to remove some panels and get to some of this deeper rust. I'll show you guys what this looks like really quickly too. Overall, the structure here is really solid, which I'm pretty pumped about that. Once we get down here, it's really, really bad. And we knew that. I'm gonna cut this piece out and do some welding here. We're gonna have to fix these pinch welds, but these pinch welds, I swear, they are way more solid under that plastic piece than I expected it to be. But take a look up here. This is very clean. All of this is clean. I'm overall pretty impressed with how clean some of this is compared to how rusty the bad spots are. And I think it's just a common thing for Subaru to have those rust spots. This is where probably it's worse on the entire car. This and the other side where the control arm meets the body. So we're gonna do a lot of welding here, but I'm not worried about that. So before I misplace any of these screws or bolts, I'm gonna go ahead and just thread them back where I removed them from on the car. We got the two little ones here from the door jamb. And I won't bore you with this. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the camera and move to the next job after I get these all threaded back into place. I'm already missing one down here, of course. Oh no, that one, this one belongs up top. The shorty went up top, I remember. There we go. Nice. Nice. I just wanted to say, if you guys are watching at this point of the video and you're enjoying this video series, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments in the section below. If you're like my man Carlos, who's always commenting on all of my videos, Top Secret Supra, and a few other guys, I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. And we are this close to hitting the milestone we need to start getting some money for the channel so I can start dumping it into these builds. I have some really awesome project cars. This is a 1968 Jaguar F-Type body, and that's my dad's car, but that's one we're gonna feature on the channel. We would really love to be making money through the channel and then throwing it back into the cars. So thank you so much for all your support. We're this close. If you guys have been watching, I really appreciate that. Make sure to stay tuned because I have some really awesome Z content coming up too. I finally got my car out of the garage for this season, and that'll be on the channel pretty soon. But without me wasting any more time, I'm gonna just go ahead and keep working. We don't have all day today, and I'd really like to get a few more of these things pulled off the car before I have to go. Now that we got the driver's side completely pulled, we're ready to start removing this passenger side, and since it's the exact same process, I'm really just gonna throw this on a time lapse and get this rim, fender, and everything else pulled off so we can see how bad the rust is on this side. Let's get to it. Yo, I just wanted to take a quick second, guys, and say this was the very first time I got to use my snap-on impact gun for this job and in general since it was rebuilt. I bought this thing many years back for $300 off Craigslist, if you guys remember Craigslist. But yeah, this thing is insane. It sounds like a ray gun after they rebuilt it. Ready for this? Yo, I love this tool. The Harbor Freight one that I have been using was incredible too, I can't lie. For $260 or whatever the cost it was, that thing has been reliable and did a great job. But this snap-on is seriously one heck of a tool and I love it. I just really wanted to say that because it made me happy. This was my first time using it, but we're gonna get back to work now. Let's go. All right, we just got that one out and I can't open my door all the way, so I'm not able to get those out with the wrench like I did on the driver's side. So I've got my little box wrench here. Let's see if I can get this just like this. Come on, come on. I'm having such a hard time here. All right, here we go. Okay. Got it. Nice. Luckily these weren't rounded out or rusty, because that could have been really a pain in the butt. Okay. If only the door opened, you know? Nice. We were able to get it. Let's go back underneath. I actually think it's hotter right now in Ohio because of the humidity than it was in Tampa, Florida. I'm dying, guys, look at me. It's miserable. Really quick while I'm down here, I'm gonna go ahead and get this unplugged. Nice, go ahead, set that aside. I've got this one here. See if this one will break free for me. Nice. Oh, the battery died in my Milwaukee. Never fear. Just do it the old-fashioned way and turn it by hand. Just kidding. It is way too hot to do that, so I'm going to grab a new battery for this thing. Luckily we got one. Hopefully it's charged. Nice. Let's go, guys. What do you guys think? It's July right now, almost mid-July. You think we're gonna have this car back on the road by January of next year, 2025? Let me know what you think in the comment section if you think that's the case. I'm gonna be able to get this thing back together by January. Let's keep on wrenching. We got this straggler here. That one came out really nice and easy. Then we have these few that are up top. Let's get these, and then this fender is ready to come down. And now I know I've had these pulled before, so I'm hoping we get the same result as we did for the driver's side. One. Two. Three and four. Let's go ahead and set those aside so they don't go flying on me. Oh, this strut's here, so I could just set them right in the strut tower. Okay. Nice, and I think this is ready to come down. Let me go ahead and set the camera down and pull this thing off. Let's do it. Let's slides forward a little bit. Oh, we got that same wire. Nice. Very nice. Let's see if I can just set this down. I gotta go under the lift. All right. Bring this bad boy out. Go ahead and set her down next to the other one. This one's actually a little bit worse, surprisingly, even though the other side is where the control arm was worse. Right here on this one is completely rotted out. This all came down the body, same like the other side. That blows. A lot of the wheel arches, not that bad. Less dense on this one, that's for sure. Got some duct tape where I taped my fender flares on it when I was young and foolish. Got the bolt that holds the bumper on. Yeah, this one's pretty clean too. Some chips in the paint. Seriously, both of them are, look just how clean those look. Very clean. Rust on the bottom. I think I'm gonna be able to plate the, weld in some pieces there to fix that. I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably gonna reuse these because I don't know where I'm gonna find such clean ones, or if I'm even able to find new ones. I don't know. If I can find new ones, I'm definitely just gonna buy new ones. Why wouldn't I? It's so much easier. I'm gonna be spraying the car anyway, but worst case scenario, I'm going to keep these, set them aside just to be careful. So right now we're gonna take a quick look at the passenger wheel well and see how that rust looks compared to the driver's side. And right now it's looking good. This is a little rusty, but I think this comes down. It's just the bracket that's rusty for here. I think those might be airbags. Sometimes yellow wires are airbag for a collision in the front. Here is the rest of the intake. This thing is huge and hilarious. Definitely gonna be removing this. Although the rust on this wheel well is nowhere near as bad. The other side here was completely shot. This is probably an AC dump, which surprising that this isn't worse, but you got our strut and all the suspension pieces are still up here. You can see this control arm's in a lot worse shape than the other one. That's because we replaced the other one, but the stabilizer link or the sway bar link isn't broken. That's a plus. And the brake, you can still see some of that red paint. That's a plus, right? I'm just kidding, guys. We're probably gonna be replacing most of this anyway. Hopefully this engine cradle though is in good shape. You do see some surface rust, but I don't really necessarily need to replace this engine cradle. And all of this will be coming down probably in the next video. I'm not 100% certain, but we are really close to pulling this last piece of suspension down, the engine cradle, and then we really just need to be removing all of the little pieces on the car so we can really just get to this rust. I'm gonna show you guys down here from this side. Honestly, these pinch welds, they're bad, and this is like some undercoating. A lot of the undercoating's holding this together. The pinch welds are really like rusted, and I'm not sure how structurally bad they are. We're gonna cut a lot of this out and weld in new, but you can see, for the most part, the worst of the rust on both sides of the car is right here. There's some bad rust in the back, which we're gonna go get a look at, but for the front, besides the radiator core support, which is completely rotten out, we have a new one. It's right over there. It's not new, but it's cleaner. We're gonna weld that in. But for the most part, this is where the worst of the rust is. So I'm not too upset about that. It's not that bad. Overall, the wheel well looks great though. I'm really pleased with this wheel well. And it's got that undercoating. It's really a heavy layer of undercoating. We're gonna knock all this down, clean it up, re-undercoat it, some rhino liner or something, and make sure this doesn't get rusted again for the next 10, 15 years. Okay, so now that I have both front fenders off, I want to try and get this rear bumper off before I call it quits for the day. I really am curious to see how bad the rust is underneath this. I've never had this rear bumper off. I'm not sure how it comes, but we're gonna go ahead and try our best to just get this thing pulled off really quick and then get a look at this rust, because pretty soon we gotta just be cutting this stuff out. I'm just so ready to get this thing back on the road. So let's just go ahead and try and get this bumper off and see what we can do. So I already know it's loose here. I think it's gotta be something in the trunk itself that's holding this up and in place, because it's pretty much loose everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty much loose pretty much in all the places. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the trunk and we're gonna see if I can just get this thing off really quick. Okay, hopefully the trunk goes, because the latch was already pulled. Oh, that's not good. I think the trunk latch is frozen. I'll grab the key and see if I can open it that way. I got a bad knee, if you guys haven't heard me say that before. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the ladder so I can crawl up there a little easier. I got all this stuff in my way because we've been trying to clean up the barn a little bit. Hopefully the key's still in the ignition. Yeah, okay, here we go. Oh no. All right, there we go. Got the key. Let's go see if we can get the trunk open. Oh, oh. All right, here we go. Ah, good. Happy about that. Honestly, I have no clue what holds this on. I'm gonna grab a flashlight and grab the ladder so I could see this a little better. Maybe it just pushed, like the Z, my rear bumper just has push clips in the center. Maybe that's the case. Let's go ahead and find out. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Let's see, does this come back now? Oh boy, that rust is awesome. All right, let me see if I can get this side pulled. This side's a little tighter. Oh, I see why it's not coming. Because the rust is preventing it from declipping. It's so bad back here, holy smokes. Before I break any wires, there is 2 reverse or license plate lights here that I don't want to break anything. Let me show you guys what we're working with really quick. So I just didn't want to tear any of these wires. I just didn't think it was necessary. Maybe it'll fit through this little hole if I feed it through. It doesn't seem like it though. Maybe I could just pull it through. We're gonna try that. Oh, I see. There's 2 screws back here that would have came off. Let's go ahead and try and get this side of the bumper off. And then if it's hanging here, I'm able to, jeez. Wow. Oh, it's hot. Can't get a good grip on this thing. Really hate that I'm shaking the whole car. Oh. Yeah, this rust is crazy. Let's see if I can just yank it. Come on. Come on. Oh! Oh my gosh. Finally. I think we got it. Now just this tube. Oh boy, that's a mess. Let me see if I can unscrew these real quick. I just want to try and show you guys. I gotta get these little screws out here. Here we go. There you can see it. Oh yeah, I was afraid the rust was gonna be this bad back here, and it's not good, so I'm gonna try and get these out really quick and get this bumper down. Oh, I have no clue if you guys can see this because my tripod moved. Whoever came up with that idea to mount the reverse like that, really not great, but I think I'm able to just grab this now and set her down. Nice. Very nice. Oh yeah, we had some clips underneath that were broken I didn't know about. Yeah, so these were screwed into the bumper and I beat this one up. I'll fix it later, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, the rust on the body isn't bad, at least from what I can see. Yet somehow this crush bar is just completely rotted out. And I think it comes off like the front. I'm not 100% sure, but just look at this, man. This is bizarre. I don't even know how this got so bad. What causes this thing to rust underneath the bumper? It must have just been holding moisture in there. Oh yeah, here they go. This is how those are mounted. And I'm sure there's 2 on each side, just like the front bumper. Crush support bar, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna try and get that off really quickly. If those don't come with ease, I'm not gonna break them. I do not have time to heat it up right now to get those broken free, but I'm still willing to attempt to break them free and see what we can do. So let's go set up the camera and see what we can get them off. Okay, so these are the 2 I'm referring to, 1 and 2. Could be 3. I'm not sure, to be 100% honest with you. Okay, so I got my 1/2-inch wrench, and I can't rock the car too much because the way it's jacked up. So if it's gonna go, it's gonna go. We'll go for it. Oh, yeah, unfortunately, it turned. I really don't want to have to cut that out or grind it out. And I can tell it's tight. I really should probably heat it. I just don't have time to heat it right now. Oh, that's 2. I bet they would come. I just would hate to break it. I have no space to move my camera. Oh, this side's a little more rusty. But we learned our lesson about this. Starting and stopping. Don't really want to do that. Okay, last one. Okay, they're all loose. I think we're gonna end up pulling that in the next video. I'm just out of time and I really want to heat them up. I don't want to break them. The rust is really bad back here. It's just not worth breaking them. We got to replace that crush bar anyway, but yeah, it's not worth it. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it right there. I gotta clean some of these tools up really quick before I go. All right, so as you can see, the rust is just terrible here. And like I was saying, I just don't have time to heat it up to get this crush bar out to see underneath and how the body actually looks. You can see back here, we got some serious rust that we're gonna have to deal with. But that's all I have time for this video. And I'm gonna be getting Subaru Saturday back on track. I do have some work coming up, but I'm able to just continuously do some more work actively on the Subaru to continue to bring you guys a video for it every Saturday. I do have some other drops coming on the channel, maybe Wednesdays or midweek. I'm not sure what day I'm gonna be able to edit and get them put on the channel, but make sure you stay tuned for that kind of content also regarding my 350Z and other routine work that I do on my cars daily. But if you guys watch, thank you so much. Your support means everything to me. We're seriously this close, I'm telling you, this close to breaking the walls down and finally making some money with the YouTube channel. I'm super excited about that. But one last look at the front end with the 2 fenders pulled off. You can just see it looks pretty crazy if you ask me. I kind of like it. I'm really just getting so excited because we're actually making some serious progress on this and we have a lot of exciting things to come. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll be talking to you guys in the next video. Peace out.